Is it time to get yourself a gaming PC? Because I'm starting to see a lot of people everywhere. I mean, I'm talking YouTube, I'm talking Twitter, and different parties. Pro Xbox, pro PlayStation, even pro Nintendo start saying, "Man, it's time to just go ahead and get me a gaming PC." Let me try to stop you in your tracks for a minute. And by the way, keep in mind that my aim is that you actually make what I think, and I'm going to probably sound biased to you, is a sensible decision and get yourself a freaking gaming PC. Yes, I said it. But I don't want you to get yourself a gaming PC that will cost you your sanity or your happiness or discomfort in any way. And again, just to throw a little bit of my own street cred out there, this is one of my builds, RTX 4080, and I'm chilling on multiple CPU cores that I know what the heck I want to do with. So I'm kind of a PC nerd. So if I want to stop you in your tracks, I'd say maybe there might be something I have to say that may have you consider exactly the decision you're trying to make. You see, what's going on right now is everybody wants to milk you. It doesn't matter whether you're a console gamer or a PC gamer. And this time right now is actually the most ideal time to just sit back and actually watch things play out. It actually is not the time to jump on a decision in changing where you already have enjoyed your entertainment for all this while. I don't think so. Yes, PC could look appealing. Yes, it may have been on your mind all this while, but you got to take a breather. And again, especially on the PC side, because now the PC side is going through its own little turmoil with a market that has just seen new hardware launched to limited quantities in order to force sales of old stock or whatever has been sitting on the side, in different corners. So you don't want to touch the PC market right now. This is what I think a sort of indirect layer of market manipulation that happens within it. It's not orchestrated by anybody that I can pinpoint to. I think it's more orchestrated by the seasons, the ebbs and the flows. New GPUs come out, everybody loses their minds. But if you're somebody that wants to be savvy, this is the best time to buy a CPU. They're cheap now because no one is paying attention and everything is now in stock, right? But again, you got to understand the ebbs and flows, but that's not what the point of this video is. Don't worry, that's secret sauce for another time. I can share later on if you actually want any of that. So what would make you go buy yourself a gaming PC now that never did make you go buy a gaming PC years ago, other than say maybe just trying to come up with, a reason or justify the funds? That would probably be the only thing where I would say, yeah, maybe it's time. If you've already been looking at the funds and say, maybe this season I came about some money, a windfall, an inheritance, or your money that you borrowed the IRS interest free that was given back to you. Okay, perhaps. But also be wary again, like I said, about prices. And you've always wanted to do this. You've taken time, you've considered, you've already realized and detailed why and exactly what it is you're going to do. Sure, it's your thing. However, if you looked and said, well, the Nintendo Switch's proposition is just not it for me, and PC is the way to go and all that, and all of these other consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, they've not been giving me A, B, C, D, and E, and I want to go ahead and go to PC. Calm down. Breathe. Because you're going to rush in there, and AMD and NVIDIA and Intel, whoever catches you, Corsair or freaking, Thermaltake or whatever it is, all these guys, they are going to have a field day with you too. There's many more of them out here. Keep that in mind. So, what could be the issue here? I think there might be some FOMO. I think there might be some discontent. I think there might be just, a lot of the talk and a lot of the hype out there because, again, sometimes we may not mean it, but we may hype something in a weird way. This is one of the reasons I'm a little hesitant when I talk about a lot of the PC stuff. I only talk about it from the value proposition, from a mathematical perspective, almost purely. That's why I'll tell you whenever people ask me in the comments, should I build a 4080 or a 4090? I immediately say, what's your budget? Once they give me their budget, I say, go do ABC, or they give me their budget. I'm like, are you sure? And then, it's a very, very interesting set of parameters out there when it comes down to it. But I can already see the frustration that's actually setting in and pushing people to reconsider this stuff. And part of it is basically just the way Nintendo came out. swinging at the wallets of a lot of people going, what the heck? And people are going, what the heck is this? It's a perfect storm. I'm happy that they came out this way. And I'm not really happy about the economy. Were it a better economy, people wouldn't think twice. People would say, no problem. 2017, when this first switch came out, oh, it was not a problem. 2017, our economy was basically going through what I thought was a very solid time. Things were changing. Things were transforming better. And so Nintendo was able to enjoy that from, all the markets that it got into. But since 2017 and 2020, it's been different. It's been hard out here in these streets. And this is not the time for you to basically go give one more big company money just because you got mad that something was not going your way, or because you did see something that's been apparent for all these years. You just finally saw it because, the price tag on it was just a lot higher in a place where it shocked you. Don't worry. It shocked other people way long before you did, before it shocked you. So what I would say is this. It's time for you to actually learn the architecture. Yes, there is a time for learning, because what you're going to try to do now is you want to go ahead and go become your own engineer. What that means is not only are you going to go become your own engineer, you're also going to go become your own financial expert. Because one thing people don't realize engineers are good about is cost efficiency. People don't realize that engineers are very good at cost efficiency. They think they're just there to build stuff. No, efficiency is at the heart of every single engineer. How much fuel, how much gas, how hot, how this, how that. That's what an engineer does. So when we're building gaming PCs, we're thinking about these things, or we let somebody else, fingers crossed, do all the heavy lifting, and we copy their build and we go ahead and build it because they've already done the work. But here's the thing. Their build and use case will be different from your build and use case. Are you building a PC as an accompanying device? Are you trying to main PC? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to replace your console library on PC? There are just so many questions now, especially, in today's day, where it wasn't that simple. Back then, the choice was simple. Okay, I can't play PlayStation games on PC. Hence, if I go PC, I know I forfeit all of that, right? And I need to keep a PlayStation device. You feel me? And so the questions now are okay, am I going to be able to even do this? Can I do that? Do I want to emulate? Can I emulate here? I mean, all of these different questions are in play. And I think a lot of folk, before they jump into PC gaming, especially now that the market is crap, it's a perfect opportunity to start thinking, because you don't need to spend a dime. Don't worry, you don't need to give scalpers any money. Forget about it. I can tell you, all the excitement and all the so-called joy of new hardware, it wears out. It's okay. You don't give anybody money that you're not, supposed to give them. So wait, as things are going on, stocks eventually will start coming out. Why? Well, AMD wants to sell stock. So yeah, they're not just going to leave Nintendo Switches available for everybody. They're going to produce more units. They're going to bring out new hardware. When they bring out new hardware and stuff is basically sitting on the shelves, that's when you come outside, because cash eventually starts making people see things differently. The perspective changes when cash is sitting in your hand. Everyone wants to give you a deal and talk to you. Ain't that right? At the end of the day. So before you make that leap and before you make that jump, take the approach of basically saying, I'm going to learn what this all is. I'm going to learn what a CPU does. I'm going to learn what future proofing is. Do you know what future proofing is? Future proofing is when you build and multiple generations of hardware comes out and you're like, That's future proofing. It's when you build your device, and when other generations of devices come out, you're like, Do you understand what I mean? Some people say, you have to upgrade your PC every year. And I'm like, why? Why? I got this 3900X around 2020. It's almost 5 years. It's going on 5 years old. Now it's not. I upgraded another computer. I get it, but if this was the only CPU that I had, I would still rock it. It's a very solid CPU. It builds games. When I fire up Unreal Engine in there and I basically get a game file in there, it will build an entire game, because that's what it's there for. That's future proofing. When I build my PC, even though in some use cases it's outdated or there's better hardware than it still does the job that it's required to do based on what it is that I've paid and the value that I've gotten from it. A lot of questions need to be answered. It's not just jumping out there and making, I'm just going to go build it. I'm going to go PC. No. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you haven't answered a good number of questions. And those questions are going to leave you with some dissatisfaction at the end of the day. This is why there are people who go to PC and then they come back and they're like, nah, it just wasn't for me. I spent all this money getting a gaming PC. Well, you didn't answer the question. Some people are going to PC because they're mad that there's no exclusivity. I'm like, you're going to go to the land of piracy because you're mad that there's no exclusivity. That is an extreme run. You know what I mean? Like, there's no exclusivity here. I'm so mad. I'm going to go to PC. What? So I've seen those reactions and I'm like, whoa, where is that coming from? At the end of the day, I strongly believe that a lot of assessment needs to be done. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I want you to make the sensible decision and get yourself a gaming PC. However, I want you to ensure that you've answered very good questions, that by the time you get that gaming PC, there's also conviction. There's so much conviction behind it, you won't look back. And whenever you I miss console for this one thing, you laugh and say, it was worth it. It was worth the sacrifice, or whatever the heck it is that you want to put out there. A very simple proposition. And it's even much simpler now that the GPU market is in shambles. Believe you me, many a time the market has been in shambles, and I've seen people jumped and made hasty decisions, overpaid for stuff that they weren't supposed to overpay for. And then at the end of the day, stuff comes out, and then I saw people pay stupid amounts of money, bro, for GPU that's basically $299. But if I tell you what they paid in terms of markup, you would be shocked. So no, don't do it. Relax. Watch all these companies basically just play their hand, take notes, learn, figure out what future proofing is, look at architecture, all of these things. Check your cost, check cost effectiveness. You will enjoy a build that you've deliberated on much more than one that you just hastily went ahead and just, acquired. That's just the reality. That's why people build, actually. It's the enjoyment that's in it. Just the enjoyment in the fact that, man, this is something that I put together. My hands, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. You'll feel what I'm feeling when you eventually get to build. You'll see what I mean. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you all so much. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.